Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin Reviews for yet another episode, and in today's episode I'm actually going to be reviewing this movie called The Beekeeper. Now before I get into how I feel about the plot and all my thoughts on the movie as a whole, I will obviously give you the context into how I decided to watch this movie and stuff like that. So just for starters, right, this movie has Jason Statham in it, and this is a guy where I have seen some of his movies and I just have a good old time with him. And now, what do I mean by that? So what I mean is I actually have seen Meg 2 like a couple times. I reviewed it like a while back, like 8 or 9 months ago on the James Ramblin Reviews, and I did really enjoy that movie. Now, he is in these movies where it's just dumb, fun, turn your brain off, silly, stupid stuff, but I just have a blast with it every single time. And I even just like the original Meg. Like, there's just something so simple about that story where you get the shark and it's all just crazy, and it was a good little film. So once you get outside of that, right, just where you have the context on the film and all of that kind of stuff, right, and how I just like Meg and all of that kind of stuff because it relates to Jason Statham, I will give you that plot summary rundown and stuff like that. So pretty much what this movie is all about is this guy, Jason Statham, right, but he plays this guy called Adam Clay, who is this beekeeper. He looks after these bees. He has like this bee, makes this bee honey and all that kind of stuff and puts it in these jars, and then he realises that there's this lady, this old black lady, who's getting scammed out of her savings, her retirement funds and all this kind of stuff. And it sounds crazy, but then she goes to answer this phone, right? She answers the phone. It's this guy who's like broadcasting this live where every person in the call centre can see her money, and then she enters this password and all of her money disappears. And so what ends up happening is her money disappears, and then she gets really mad, and she realises, oh, she got scammed. And then moments later, right, in the film, like, it shows that there was blood inside the house when Jason Statham went to go into the house and see what was going on, because he wanted to cut a rope and see if she hanged herself or whatever. So he realises that she was on this seat, right, and she was just like that. She was like lying down as if she was dead. And that's kind of what this movie is about. It's about like this kind of revenge plot, kind of like your typical kind of John Wick thing, where you see this thing happening, this guy has to go and get revenge and do a lot of action in the process, and that's pretty much what The Beekeeper is about. So once you get outside of that kind of stuff, I'm talking about the plot and the context and everything, let's just dive into how I feel about this movie. Now, when it comes to The Beekeeper, I would definitely say that this movie is a fun time. It is a fun movie to watch. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say this is like the second coming of Christ or it's some masterpiece. In certain ways it does get the job done, but for me it just kind of went on and on and on and on and on to where, right, the movie was good for about like 30 to 40 to 50 minutes, to where like Jason Statham was doing the thing he had to do, and then he does it again, 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 and he does it again and again and again in like 5 or 6 different ways, but it's still the same movie, the same plot and everything like that. So it kind of just drags on and on and on, if you know what I mean. And so that is kind of why I don't like the movie. I'm not saying this is the worst movie ever. I did laugh. I laughed so much. Like, there's some really silly random dialogue at certain points where they just say these stupid things and it just doesn't make sense. And then there's this thing that happens in the movie where this thing happens and this random thing happens and another random thing happens, and all of this stuff just is jumbled in together to where they just want to squeeze enough so that there's like a long enough running time, if you know what I mean. And that is my biggest issue with this. So I would give it about like a 4.5 to 5 out of 10. Is it something I'm going to re-watch 20 times a year or once a year? Probably not. So that is kind of my take on this movie. I watched it a few hours ago, you know. It's not that kind of movie where I'm going to spend 12 days thinking about it. It's nothing like that. So that's kind of how I feel about this movie. I hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for more like it and stuff like that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. I'll put this on Spotify as well, so you can enjoy that. So this is just a quick, simple little review for you. So yeah, bye. See you next week, next time, whenever on the James Ramblin Reviews. Bye.